Today's WNEM TV5 Evening Extra is brought to you by the Law Office of Carol Thomas.
Thanks for tuning into the TV5 Evening Extra. Grand Blanc Township Police releasing new information in the deadly shooting at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints this past September that left 4 people dead and 9 others injured. We're learning more about events leading up to the attack in a newly released 67-page report from Grand Blanc Township detailing what happened that tragic day. Investigators say Thomas Jacob Sanford rammed his truck into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints on September 28, 2025. In the report, witnesses say they heard a loud pop and bang about 15 to 20 minutes into the service that morning. One witness says part of a wall at the front of the chapel began to collapse and briefly thought it could have been a bomb. Another says there was a known church member who had a handgun who was trying to shoot back at Sanford but didn't see him. The report also gives the officer's perspective that day. One says he saw heavy smoke coming from the church when he arrived and how he, with the help of another man, rescued 8 people out of a window after the door had been barricaded with a piano. Also shared with us today a 911 call made by Sanford that morning, just minutes before he arrived at the church. Sanford told the dispatcher there are bombs at the 3 other area churches, including a Mormon temple, which he emphasized. But Sanford does not mention the church on McCandlish Road. But the report says GPS showed the call coming from less than a mile away from it. Dispatchers can also be heard saying they could hear the exhaust from a vehicle as Sanford was on the phone with them.
Genesee County 911.
Hey, I want to report it was a bomb in the Mormon temple. And there's also a bomb.
Oh, hold on.
No. Listen to me. Listen, I'm going to talk. No, you're going to listen. I'm going to hang out the phone. That's it, okay? And there's also a bomb. And hey, no. Mormon temple is very important, okay? It's very important, that one there, okay? I'm going to hang up.
No, don't hang up.
I'm going to hang up the phone now, okay?
What is your name?
Hang up. No.
Sanford was shot and killed by officers within 4 minutes of the first 911 call from the church. The FBI has said the attack was believed to be motivated by Sanford's anti-religious beliefs against the Mormon community. Stay with TV5 for more as this unfolds.
A winter weather advisory has been issued for Wednesday morning for at least most of the TV5 viewing area, as we do expect a round of snow as we start the day tomorrow. That snow not expected to bring substantial amounts, but likely enough to be inconvenient as we start the day on Wednesday. We're expecting that snow to become more widespread through the morning and likely will cover most of the area by 7 o'clock. We do expect temperatures to get warmer as the day goes on, and so once snow becomes more scattered into the afternoon, we will have a chance for road treatments to be a little more effective. We also have a first alert weather day in place for Friday and Saturday. Very cold wind chills are expected by the end of the week. Some as cold as about 15 to 25 degrees below zero, which could have an impact on schools later this week. So stay tuned for that. If you're a parent who has to arrange alternate childcare, maybe start getting a backup plan in your mind just to be safe. We've got upper single digits to the north and low and mid-teens off to the south tonight. Wind chills still near zero and below, but not quite as cold as earlier this morning. Our winds are still 10 to 20 miles per hour over most of the region, though they will calm down a little bit tonight briefly before picking back up again tomorrow. A look at downtown Flint shows dry conditions here. Radar is pretty clear as well. Maybe a flurry or a light snow shower here and there tonight, but nothing significant. Our wind chills will actually get warmer through the next 12 hours as well. We'll take a look at how much snow and when it comes to an end coming up.
Thank you, Chris. Is Bay County's Frankenless Township a good place to build a data center? That question in need of an answer after a recent inquiry to the township office. TV5's James Felton with how township leaders are handling their response.
Our zoning administrator received the letter, and they were just inquiring about our ordinances.
Frankenless Township Supervisor Ron Campbell talking about a series of emails sent by a researcher from PACES. PACES is a company that assists solar developers in identifying suitable land parcels for large-scale solar farm projects. The researcher requested information pertaining to zoning and renewable energy. The researcher also wanted to know if there were plans to implement a data center ordinance, or if there is currently one in place.
He replied to them that, we have all the ordinances in place except for the data center, which the Planning Commission is currently working on as we speak.
That work is expected to take months.
It's up to the Planning Commission. They have to, we have the engineers in place, we have our attorneys in place, so they need to look at the ordinance, basically study it, figure out what more needs to be in the ordinance or what they need to take out of the ordinance, or what legally we can do, and then they will go from there. But this is going to be 3, 4, 5, could be up to 6-month process.
Campbell is quick to point out that the public will have the chance to provide input before the Planning Commission decides on a data center ordinance.
Stand by. We're working on it. Okay, so don't panic. We're working on it. The Planning Commission. We got a very good Planning Commission, and they're looking out for Franklin Township.
James Felton, WNEM TV5.
Campbell tells us Frankenless Township has not received any applications for data centers. He says if that happens, they'll consider putting a moratorium in place until an ordinance regarding data centers is finalized by the Planning Commission. More local news now. The Mott Foundation investing in Flint neighborhoods with a $600,000 grant. The money will go toward the Genesee County Habitat for Humanity. The goal is to implement high-impact neighborhood design projects that create a positive and lasting change in the landscape of Flint. The grant will provide funding of up to $20,000 per project. The public is invited to attend one of 3 informational sessions at the Neighborhood Engagement Hub on Martin Luther King Avenue. There you can meet with staff members to discuss neighborhood improvement projects and support the application project. The first session is scheduled for Monday morning at 10.
Ice Dinosaurs, the Lost World of the Alaskan Arctic, opens today. Some of these discoveries are new. Some of them create more questions about how these dinosaurs lived in these cold, snowy, and Arctic conditions.
The Sloan Museum of Discovery showcasing their new interactive exhibit, Ice Dinosaurs, the Lost World of the Alaskan Arctic, gives you an immersive experience telling the story of how paleontologists discovered fossils farther north than expected in the Arctic Circle, when many thought most dinosaurs lived in warmer climates. The exhibit features new species and discoveries, with staff saying the fossils used to develop the show were only found within the last 2 decades.
The interactives are really educational because they are actually done by the paleontologists. They're videos of the paleontologists that discovered these new fossils. And there's still a lot of questions about how they survived.
And make it a full day of dinos. The Sloan Museum and Longway Planetarium debuting the new show T-Rex, the greatest of all tyrants. Staff say the documentary examines the legendary predator and its carnivorous cousins. The Ice Dinosaurs exhibit runs through May 3rd. Another chance for you to explore prehistoric times. The Midland Mall inviting families to Jurassic Weekend. The event will take families on an exciting walk through exhibits showcasing life-size realistic dinosaurs that move and roar. There's also educational workshops, face painting, vendors, and more. Jurassic Weekend opens Saturday at the Midland Mall. You can get your tickets in the hot links section of WNEM.com. New artwork going on display in Bay City. The focus on these new pieces coming to the Studio 23 Arts Center, and when you can hear the artist discuss his work after the break. Take a frigid dip for the state's largest fundraiser for Special Olympics Michigan. The polar plunges in your area still ahead. A crash in Saginaw leads to a destroyed porch. Saginaw police say two cars hit each other, sending one into a home's porch in the area of Davenport and North Oakley. It happened because one driver didn't see the other vehicle. No one was hurt. That crash comes as the city of Saginaw announces it has received the federal Safe Streets and Roads for All grant, which aims to improve road safety. TV5's James Felton reports.
The city of Saginaw posted a Safe Streets Project update presentation made earlier this month at a city council meeting by Sincar Consulting Group and the City of Saginaw Engineering Division to its Facebook page.
We're here because there's a lot of fatalities on the roadways in Saginaw.
Lauren Warren is a consultant with Sincar Consulting Group. She shared with City Council the toll of crashes that took place in Saginaw from 2014 to 2023.
Almost 13,000 crashes occurred on just the roads within the city, resulting in 29 fatal crashes and 164 serious injury crashes.
Half of all crashes involved drivers 24 and under or 65 and older, and 2/3 of all crashes happened at an intersection. During the presentation, the consulting firm listed intersections and stretches of streets that should be addressed. The Safety Committee will seek approval from City Council regarding proposed changes at its meeting on February 23rd.
As part of the grant, this current grant for the planning, the city also needs to monitor kind of like where they're going with this. And I think that will really start to show your residents that the city is trying to make changes on the roadway to make them safer. And so we've given some metrics that they can monitor crashes over the next 5 years to see how we're moving the needle.
That was James Felton reporting. To learn more, go to the City of Saginaw government Facebook page. You can find it in the Tuesday Hot Links section on our website, WNEM.com. A Flint man has been found guilty after road rage led to shots fired at a family. 31-year-old James Lara has been convicted of 13 felony counts, including assault with intent to murder. The Genesee County prosecutor says testimony revealed Lara was tailgating the family, which included a toddler and an infant, and nearly caused a crash. After the family had parked at home, Lara turned around, shared heated words, and fired a gun toward the family. Lara faces life in prison. His sentencing is scheduled for February 17th. Guns, drugs, and more seized by state police at a Genesee County home with what started as a false report of a crime. Earlier this month, state police say 63-year-old Brian Howd called 911 multiple times saying someone stole something from a vehicle. State police determined that hadn't happened. But after seeing a gun inside Howd's garage, he was arrested due to him being a convicted felon. State police later learned there were more guns inside the house. After executing a search warrant, they found 24 guns, drugs, ammo, and body armor. Howd's next court appearance is scheduled for January 29th. The American Red Cross declaring a severe blood shortage, and it needs your help. The Red Cross says weather has led to the cancellation of blood drives and believes the uptick of the flu has kept donors at home. The organization's blood inventory has come down by about 35% over the past month alone. And blood is perishable, so it can't be stockpiled, creating an ongoing need for donations. Dr. Lance Wells works at the Rural Hillsdale Hospital in southern Michigan. He says there's a special need in rural communities for blood.
When you're in a rural community, you see the same things you see in urban communities where they have larger transport systems and more resources. But we still deal with those same injuries, the same level of acuity in our smaller system with less resources.
The Red Cross says a sufficient blood supply is critical for hospitals to provide care for patients in need of life-saving blood transfusions during emergencies or even childbirth.
We need people to donate blood. It is absolutely imperative that I say that again. We need people to donate blood.
To find a blood drive near you, head to the Hot Links section on WNEM.com. More local news, an opening reception this week at Bay City's Studio 23 Arts Center, debuting new artwork. Memes of African-American postmodernism by Lark Allen III opens on Thursday. The work depicts African-inspired artifacts using materials found in nature as well as discarded objects. He says his artwork investigates his own existence within the African ancestry through a series of paintings, prints, and sculptural masks. Thursday's free reception and artist talk is from 5 to 7. The exhibit runs through February 21st. Sign up to make a splash for a good cause. Registration is now open for next month's statewide Polar Plunge. The annual event raises money to support Special Olympics Michigan. This is the biggest fundraiser for the event, with all proceeds helping to provide year-round training and services to over 23,000 athletes across the state. The first local Polar Plunge is Saturday, February 7th at the Fenton Moose Lodge. To register and find an event in your area, head to our hot link section.
A look at downtown Saginaw tonight, where things look pretty quiet. And that's the case as we go through the rest of this evening. But snow is expected to return as we head into the morning commute tomorrow, which could slow things down for some communities. Your first alert pinpoint Doppler radar shows we've also got some scattered snow showing up on the west side of the state. A flurry from time to time. Don't necessarily think is impossible this evening, but I don't expect anything substantial. And the system that's arriving for tomorrow, can't even really see it on your sky tracker just yet. But it will be there, and it looks like a fairly widespread round of snow. We expect it to arrive closer to about 3 or 4 o'clock in some of our earliest areas and then get more widespread from there. So by 7, I think most of the area is covered by snow. We'll likely see that continue for at least a couple of hours. And then as we get closer to about lunchtime, it starts to fizzle out to more of a scattered coverage of snow the rest of the day, and then just fizzles out entirely for a brief time as we go towards Wednesday night and early Thursday. How much are we talking? I would say about 1 to 3 inches of snowfall seems like the most appropriate range for most of us. I think there's just a slightly higher potential in some of our southerly zones where you see that blue shaded area. I still think the vast majority of people in this zone will pick up about 1 to 3 inches of snow, but just think there may be a more top end range for a few locations when all is said and done. Your first alert weather days for Friday and Saturday, primarily for the wind chills, could be an all day thing on Friday, where we see not only a cold morning, but some of those conditions last into the afternoon and evening. We're talking about a higher potential, I think, for wind chills that could be as cold as about 20 to 25 degrees below zero. And that could be for both days this weekend. Frostbite times around 30 minutes or less. Future feels like temperatures give you at least a somewhat of a projection here towards the end of the week. You can clearly see a lot of 20 to 25 below, and maybe even a little bit cooler than that in some of our northerly zones. And then as we fast forward into the afternoon, they really don't change all that much. Maybe some slight improvement, but still, I would say a lot of areas that are below 20 degrees. As far as your forecast going into tonight, a lot of teens for low temperatures, but a rebound to the upper 20s to low 30s tomorrow. Any snow should be responding to road treatments by the time the afternoon comes around, so that's a good thing. Going into your 7-day, likely seeing temperatures next week start very chilly. I would anticipate mostly teens by Sunday and likely teens into Monday. Perhaps a mix of teens and 20s on Tuesday, with plenty of opportunities for isolated snow showers. Not anticipating anything terribly widespread. Definitely think Wednesday is the biggest opportunity to pick up some accumulation.
This is a measuring stick for a miniature horse.
All new tonight, one dog is breaking records thanks to her 4 long legs. It's tonight's can't miss moment on the news at 10 on the Great Lakes Sports and Entertainment Network. Then on TV5 News at 11, leaders in Bay City to consider incentives for grocery stores, why they say the city needs more. Also at 11, a school bus runs into a problem on the highway, literally. What brought it to a stop and why the driver is being called a hero.
In your 7-day, one more time, shows once we get to the weekend, we're back in the single digits for temperatures. Wind chills even colder. Looks like we have a chance for some wind chills below 20 degrees below zero Friday and Saturday. So animals outside, anyone who is vulnerable to the cold, if you know somebody whose heating system doesn't work too well in their house, maybe you know somebody who needs to get off the street. Those are the types of things this weekend that we need to be mindful of. And then next week, not much improvement, but improvement nonetheless.
Can you explain to my toddler that that's why we can't go outside?
Yes.
Please.
You know,
give me a message I can just show him.
Winter is tough for the little ones.
Oh, it certainly is. If you want to hear more about the weather, head on over to our digital live stream at 9 o'clock tonight. You can join that stream at WNEM.com, on the TV5 YouTube and Facebook pages, on our Roku and Fire Stick channels, and on the TV5 News app. Thank you for watching WNEM Evening Extra. Of course, keep up with us as the news breaks online. We'll see you back on TV5 at 11.